I just got the notification that says the Hangout on air is live, which means we're officially filming the sixth, I think, episode of The Rejects,
Yeah.
just sort of touching base with everybody on how everybody's kind of independent projects are going. And today we have a special guest, Albert Vinas. Did I say your name correctly, Vinas?
Yeah, you did. You hit it on the mark. It's Vinas. It has
Perfect.
a little
Sweet.
squiggly on the end.
So Albert is doing a feature film and was one of the original kind of members to sign up for our community. So we brought him on for him to share a little bit about his feature and how it's going and all that stuff. Uh,
Yeah.
well,
All
give
right.
us
So
a quick update. Yeah.
okay. So basically, um, it was just it started off as I was thinking about writing the script for to for a screenplay. Then I was gonna do that, and I had a couple ideas, and then it was taking a little bit longer than I expected because my benchmark, my goal for this year was to get that written and to already be thinking about fundraising at that point. But I wasn't happy with my what I wrote, what I had written. So I was looking around to see, how can I find a screenplay from essentially from a screenwriter who's already written one. And I was looking around for different websites, and a lot of them want already an accomplished producer, and it's really like, and it's just it was hard to to find a place. And then I found a website that it was called screenwritingstaffing.com that I was able to put an article up, and I was looking for a script and to go through the process of optioning it and try to fundraising it that way. And I found one. It's about a month ago. I had signed the paperwork for the option, and it was a really great script. That really, it's one of those things where you read through a bunch of scripts, and then you find one, and it's like, it tears you up inside. You have the emotions, and
It
and
hits.
Cool. Cool.
That's
mhm.
good, man.
Is it still kind of to the point where you're like you don't want to quite give us a little bit of the plot, or do you want to give us a little bit of a teaser?
Yeah, definitely. It's the story. It actually, I was thinking about it. It had a similar concept, but this one just was a way better idea. Where it was a kid that he's in a coma, but we don't know that in the beginning. But we experience his world through what it's almost like a dreamlike state he's in, and basically he he had we later find out he's avoiding what he's most afraid of, which is death. But he's dying anyway. So the whole point is you have to face your fear to be able to overcome. But yeah, it has a lot of different themes in there. It's like, okay, well, like things that we're normally afraid of, whatever that might be, we might run away from them, but not realize that we're running away from them. So I thought that was very interesting. But
Gotcha.
yeah,
It sounds
That's cool.
heavy.
That's cool. Yeah, that sounds good. It sounds like there's a lot of imagination. It sounds like you could be really creative and go a lot of different places.
Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
Cool.
Especially with the dream sequences and when you're dealing with the structure of the mind, there's a whole lot of freedom there.
Totally. Totally.
I
So, what
like it.
are some of the next steps that you're going to be taking?
well, I was actually, I was very fortunate to figure out, because I'm sort of figuring this out as I go along. So, I mean, with the option agreement, I had, you know, gone through this book written by Michael Donaldson. He's a lawyer out in Beverly Hills that I was reading up, and he has links to all these different contractual agreements that, he keeps up to date, and, had it revised, and I was like, so nervous that it's not going to be okay, legally. So,
Yeah.
you know, thank goodness I had that figured out and I had it looked at also by someone else. And so the option agreement is signed and we got that ready to go. So I have So I technically have the rights to go out and fundraise. So the next step would probably be, the business plan, definitely essential. So because the route I'm doing is, I guess, old-fashioned, going out for investors.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I'm still figuring out the business plan, target audience, doing research on that. And then after the business plan, the concept, like there's a concept trailer, this, uh, like a mood trailer, cuts stuff together that kind of
Yeah.
fits the mood of the piece, and also like a poster that we can put together to show people what it is that we're doing, and have
Exactly.
that ready to go, and then start reaching out from there on out. And uh, actually, so very important, budget and
Yeah.
schedule.
That's a pretty good time probably to bring Javan in. You're kind of in a similar spot, right? Before you were crowdfunding, but now you're talking to investors.
Yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere. Just with all the actors we know that, and they're so involved with producers, with up and coming people, that we got a link to a young producer, and she's got some ideas. And one of the actresses, she knows some people that are interested in funding. And like Albert was saying, we put together a video. We got a poster. We got the theme and the style that the film's going to be in, and we're going to show them and talk to them about putting together the money. So it's exciting, but it's kind of nerve wracking at the same time, because it's like now it's real now. Now we gotta back up what we said we could do. So it's time to play.
Yeah,
It's
that's
fun.
cool though. So I think some of the people watching might be like, yeah, I've had this idea and I have the script and I'm ready to make something, but they don't
Yeah,
know how to even find or meet these angels who are willing to help us make our dreams come true by giving us finances to create films with. So how is it that you both kind of came across these? Well, I guess you kind of mentioned, Javen, there's people who are in your community already that degrees of
yeah.
inspiration type of thing.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's a matter of getting out there to festivals, meeting people. If you have a local community that's doing film things, and talking with people, getting to know their contacts and everything, and just, I mean, there's websites, slated.com. They have a lot of producers that are on there looking for projects, and if you can just focus on what your project is, and how to film it and how to get it done and visually display it to people, that more or less gets people interested, because they can see it before it's done, and that gets people excited. It's really effective, I found, just to show people visually what you're wanting to achieve.
Totally,
Definitely.
totally. I'm trying to remember, Albert, too. You mentioned the website where you were able to find the script, and
Yeah,
there's a website that I had been to before, and I think Justin Lutsky, who was a previous kind of cameo on these shows, used it, called inktip.com. So that might be another resource out there for people.
Yeah, definitely. I tried Inktip. They require like producing credit already with feature film,
Mm.
and what was it? Yeah, IMDb credits. Yeah, it was denied.
yeah. Dang.
Yeah, so but
Well,
no, it's a good option if you can get that. I mean, that's a great option. And another thing I wanted to mention too was something that's not as obvious, since Javan, you mentioned the crowdfunding is I had before done a crowdfunding. It was unsuccessful, but I
yeah,
was still able to connect with an angel investor through Kickstarter, even though
mm,
the project was unsuccessful.
yeah,
So that could be a way to bring attention to your project through through other
yeah.
means. For this example, the crowdfunding.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's really what it's about, is just getting yourself out there and doing it. I mean, like the age old thing is, they won't let you make a film until you make a film. So it's like
Yeah,
just putting it out there, and like you said, they wouldn't let you produce unless you already had producing credit. So that's what
Yeah,
everybody's been telling me locally, is just, or throughout, and is just like, just do it, get out there, don't spend any money or whatever, just throw a film together, and there you go, there's your first movie. It's just a matter of putting yourself out there as much as you can these days, because with
yeah,
through the internet and all the social media means, you have that at your fingertips now. It's
yeah. That's a
awesome.
great point, and it's great too because the barrier to entry is so low now. Before, there was, this equipment's all expensive and all this stuff, and it really, I mean, can you imagine 20 years ago if somebody said you can't make a feature or you can't, produce a feature until you've already done one? We're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do that?
Yeah, how are you going to afford the film? How are you going to
Right.
afford all these things, man?
Somebody really, really creative really could practically without leaving their house make a compelling feature on their iPhone. And
Yeah.
probably people already have. I don't know. I haven't been to enough film festivals lately, but
It's just a matter of story, and creativity, like you said. It's
yep.
really what it boils down to is and how driven you are to complete this. So
I do think too it takes it does take a little bit of a community to get this stuff done too, because for a little while I thought I would do an experiment. In fact, in the very beginning, like, computer went onto sleep mode, but in the background at the beginning of this video anyway, what's on the screen is a project from years ago that I haven't finished. And my plan was I'm going to write a script all by myself. I'm going to make a bunch of filmmaking gear. I'm going to hike up into the mountains with a camera, and I'm going to, like, be in solitude for 5 days and come back with footage, and then I'm going to edit it by myself and write the music and just do all this stuff. And I don't know what I was thinking, like, I'm the guy in the world, or like, I don't know why I thought that this is. I just thought, like, I wonder, it's more of an experiment. I wonder, can I do it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I do have all the footage for the most part. There was a couple shots that I couldn't get up there, but it's been years, and I haven't been able to finish it yet because part of it's procrastination or time, or I don't have anybody to be accountable to except myself, and if I'm pardoning myself, then I don't have to. So the barrier to entry is really low when it comes to technology. Like Javan said, we're not paying for film, we're not paying for all this stuff, but I think one of the things that's important is still other people that'll even just encourage us, heaven forbid, help with these projects, which I think is what is exciting about what the Rejects is turning into. There's, people who we're able to at least talk with and say, hey, I'm doing this, and then in a couple weeks we're going to check in and be like, great, where are you with your feature? Where are you with this? So that we can keep each other motivated and moving.
I mean, that's the biggest thing, and I mean, with anything within life, it's having friends. And when we started reaching out to actors and they started, reading a little bit of the script and reading their parts, they've been the biggest, helping factor and contributing factor because they're the most passionate, it seems, to get it done, and then maybe crew members will be, and the actors are like, yeah, let's get this together and get it done. And I'm extremely grateful for all the people who've just come on board out of the woodwork all of a sudden, it's awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
I totally agree. Yeah, and like to David's point, it's just I feel like this is like a sin we all enter. As in the beginning, it's like we could do everything, and definitely I've gone through that phase where it's like, oh man, I can't do everything now because you realize, man, if I only had that other person over here or over there helping me out doing this or that.
Yeah.
So it's
man, like right now I would kill for an editor, but then the other part of me is I have to finish the experiment, but it's
exactly.
Like 5 years. It will not be finished.
It's that drive.
But that's about I mean that's the update. That's basically how things are going. We can check in with these guys again in a little while and figure out how everything's going with the features. It's exciting to see people in the Rejects group doing features. Last week or a couple weeks ago we knew there was one. Now we know that there's two. So it's cool to see what the group's all doing individually. And even though it didn't work out that we all do something together, it might still be that way in the future, or at least we can support each other in our personal endeavors too.
Exactly.
So congrats.
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry, Albert. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say congrats to both of you and good luck with everything. And any final thoughts from anyone?
Actually, because you mentioned how important it is, motivation. It's definitely true for for us what we're trying to do. And I was just thinking recently of something I read about Christopher Columbus, where during his time, it's just everyone thought he was crazy. Everyone thought the world was flat. You can never do what he's planning to do. But he went out anyway. He did his own planning. He set sail, not knowing what's out there, And I just thought that had some parallels for filmmaking. We set sail regardless of what other
Perseverance.
people. Yeah, perseverance.
Yeah.
Totally. Totally. Yep.
That's how it gets done, is just sticking to your dream and seeing it through to the end, and you'll get friends along the way, you might lose friends along the way, but it's life, and it's filmmaking is life in a way for us. I'm sure we're extremely passionate about it, so it's exciting.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
Hmm.
congrats everybody, and we will talk to you all later.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.